Fellow Toastmasters, Mr. Contest Master, welcome guests. Efficiency and laziness go hand in hand. I should know this, because I'm lazy. But sometimes I'm also efficient. I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. In my corporate life, if I find that I'm doing something rote, something monotonous that I do over and over again, maybe an Excel spreadsheet or a database query, something of that nature, I'm going to find a way to optimize it and automate it. Because I'm lazy, I don't want to keep doing the same thing over and over again. But I recognize that there is a cost to this efficiency. For example, I may well automate myself out of a job. Maybe I'll automate some of my coworkers out of their jobs, and they'll hate me. But I accept this cost. I accept this risk. Now, this same cost of efficiency applies to the subject of exercise. I mean, if I'm going to do something that I hate, I'm going to try to get the best bang for my buck as I can in as short a time as possible. I got a Groupon about 10 months ago, February of this year. For those that aren't familiar, Groupon is this revolutionary concept where instead of getting coupons in the newspaper, you get them sent directly to your email inbox. Imagine that. Now, this particular Groupon was for 6 Fit Body Boot Camp classes in Beechwood. I thought, this is perfect. I can be away from my family for only an hour on a Saturday and burn as many calories in that hour as I would in a week. Now, the first hint that this was probably going to be pretty intense was an email that I received from the instructor after I registered for the course. She writes, "Bryan, thank you for registering. We'll see you Saturday. Make sure you eat plenty of protein that morning. Make sure you bring plenty of water and bring a towel." I thought to myself, she's probably overreacting. I mean, this ain't my first rodeo. I've exercised before. She didn't know it at the time, but I had a total gym in my basement, just like Chuck Norris. So I was feeling pretty confident. Didn't think too much of the email. So I finally signed up for the class. I get there that first Saturday morning, and I find that the gym is really just this loading dock that's been converted into a circuit training area. Now, my second clue that I may be in over my head was the fact that when I arrived, I saw all the people leaving the previous class, and all the people that were coming into the class that I'd be in were already in shape. But I didn't think too much of it. I didn't let that bother me. I thought, I'm young, I'm agile. I mean, when I take my daughter to the park, I can climb the dinosaur slide just as fast as she can. So we began. There were 12 of us in the class there. And we've got an instructor in the front. He is very motivational. Reminds me a lot of Billy Blanks from the old Tybo infomercials. So he starts off. He's got music in the background. We've got dance beats bumping to get us motivated. You know, gets us pumped up, get that adrenaline running. Now he starts off, and I should mention, the class was conducted using these TRX cables. If you haven't heard of these are just ropes that hang from the ceiling, taut cables that have handles on the ends of them. They rest right about at knee level height. And the entire class is conducted using your own body weight as a counter. So you pull yourself back or someplace, and then you'll pull yourself up using the cables. So the instructor gets us there, gets us situated, and we start off. We're doing squats. We're sitting down and pulling ourselves back up, sitting down and pulling ourselves back up. I was feeling pretty good. Now here's my impression of myself over the next 15 minutes. 5 minutes in. Yeah, feeling the burn. I can do this. 10 minutes in. Okay, it's a little tougher than I thought, but I can deal. 15 minutes in. I've made a horrible mistake. Luckily, after 15 minutes, we got a 30-second break. It was just enough time to scarf down all the water that I had with me and then get right back to it. Well, needless to say, I was exhausted at this point. My body quit. So I spent the remainder of the class, it was a full hour, just kind of stood there swaying back and forth. Sometimes the instructor would come around and he'd teach me a new exercise. Okay, you're supposed to do this. So I'd do it for him while he was there. And then after he'd leave, I'd just kind of go back to swaying. But I made it through. About halfway through the class, he says, "All right, we're doing suspended push-ups." And as I watched everyone around me, somehow they were supposed to put the handles on their feet and in one fluid motion get on the ground and with their feet suspended inside of these handles do suspended push-ups.
Oh my gosh.
I can barely balance on one leg, but that was ridiculous. I was really proud. I did stay there and made it through the entire hour. And I learned a valuable lesson that day. I learned that you can be efficient about many things. Like with my corporate example, there is a cost that I was willing to take. And I found that morning that the cost was to my body. I woke up the next morning, and I've been sore after exercise before. But I kid you not, every single muscle in my body, from the balls of my feet, to my buttocks, to the fingertips. I've never been sore there, but every single place was sore. And I know what you're going to ask, and the answer is no. I have not used the rest of the 5 classes. All the exercise that I'm doing today is either running my mouth, pushing my luck, or jumping to conclusions. Mr. Conte.